Hi everyone, my name is Shauna in case you didn't know, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing the currently reading book tag. This tag was created by Charlie Ray and I will be linking her YouTube channel down in the description below. The first question is, how many books do you usually read at once? Generally I read one book at once. I think that the only time I read two books at once is if for some reason I don't have my physical book on me, then I will read an ebook. Or if I have to read a book for school, then I'll read a book for fun while also reading a book for school. But I have like really bad short-term memory issues, and so I find it easier to read one book at a time. Question number 2 is, if you're reading more than one book at a time, how do you decide when to switch reading to the other book? And then in parentheses it says you read a certain amount of pages in each. If I'm doing a school book, I will put my fun book on pause, so like it will still be in my mind what's happening, and then I just read the school book as quickly as I can. But if I'm reading like an iBook and a physical book, like say I'm on vacation, I have an iBook with me, and then I come home and I'm still reading an ebook and a physical book, if that happens I'll just do whatever I'm in the mood to do. I'm a mood reader. I read only what I'm in the mood to read, and if I don't do that, I will get in a reading slump. And so I just switch books based on what mood I'm in, and I try and finish all the books that I am reading before I start reading a next book, although sometimes I'm not the greatest at that. Number 3, do you ever switch bookmarks while you're partway through a book? Yes, because I have OCD. My OCD tells me your reading pace has slowed, so you need to go change your bookmark or else you get in a reading slump. And so I have the obsession with worrying about getting in a reading slump, and so my compulsion to cope with that is changing my bookmarks. And so sometimes I switch bookmarks in the middle of a book. If I'm on a pretty good reading pace, I can go several months before switching a bookmark. It just really depends on what my OCD decides to do to me, and sometimes it will freak on me and sometimes it just calms itself down and can handle things. It's really weird, and I need to work on that in therapy, don't I? Where do you keep the book you're currently reading? I keep it on my night shelf stand. Let me go grab it to show you, although I probably won't be finished with this book by the time that this video is uploaded. I just swiveled my chair around because I forgot how close my nightstand is to the chair, because you see that lamp? That's my nightstand. So I just like keep it in the little bottom part of the nightstand. Currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I am this far in, so I'm really close to finishing. I have mixed feelings on this book, but I'm finally reading it. I can like cross it off as a popular book that I've read, because this was like a book that was sort of like bucket list type book, immediate TBR. I'm not really sure what the right word for it was. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling with fae, and it's very adult, so keep that in mind. Number 5, what time of day do you spend the most time reading? At night. It is when I can finally get peace and quiet, unless my neighbors decide to garden until 12:30 a.m., which they have done. Why are my neighbors so bizarre? But yeah, it's normally loud in my house. I have a dog that barks a lot. My family has TVs on a lot. My family talks a lot. And I hear like lawnmowers all day in the day, so I just prefer to read at night where I know that it will most likely be quiet. Number 6, how long do you typically read in one go? So my hands get really sore holding books for some reason. I also have fibromyalgia, so that could be why. And I also have a low attention span, so I generally like read a chapter, then scroll through Twitter for 2 minutes so my hands get a break from holding a book, and then just repeat that pattern, and that goes on for about 2 hours. Doing that pattern, I can get anywhere between 40 to 70 pages read in that 2-hour time period that I do every night, but it depends on how motivated I am and how the pacing of the book is going, because slower paced books take me longer to read, but if it's fast paced, I can like fly through the pages really quickly. Number 7, do you read hardbacks with the dust jacket on or off? I read it with the dust jackets off because I don't want to damage the dust jacket. I used to read it with them on, and then I started getting concerned with keeping my books in good shape, and I was like, when I put the dust jacket on while I'm reading it, it gets all like ripped and crinkled and it's just a mess. I just take it off to be safe. Number 8, which position do you mainly use to read? I put my back up against something solid, so I use the couch for right now, but I've done like the side of my bed before and stuff, and then I fold my legs up in like a little like V shape, and then I rest the book or my Kindle on my legs. I do have to adjust quite a bit, but that is generally the most comfortable position that I gravitate towards whenever I am reading. Number 9, do you take the book you're currently reading with you everywhere you go? Not currently. I used to do that. I just keep getting so distracted by like every little noise, so I'm not going to be able to read in public. I only really read at night, or I read when I'm in the bath, so sometimes it feels really pointless to take my book with me everywhere I go, since I know that I won't be reading. I used to be really good at it though, and I would read like on trains and stuff on the way to school, but now I just don't bring my book anywhere, and if I have spare time in public, I'm just on my phone like on Pokemon Go or something. And the final question is, how often do you update the progress in the book you're currently reading on Goodreads? I don't want to go over the top and spam all of my friends and followers on Goodreads with updates, and so I just generally try to update it once every day, and I update it at night after that 2-hour session of me reading. And then I only sometimes add words with my actual thoughts in it, because a lot of the times I like want to surprise people with my review for what my thoughts on it are. But I have such strong thoughts on A Court of Thorns and Roses that I have been doing like updates where I say things with my updates. Also because I find that when I'm reading like a super popular book, and I know that a lot of people that are friends with me on there have read the book, sometimes I find that it's fun to add little commentary, because then they'll respond back to you and you can have like a conversation. And specifically with A Court of Thorns and Roses, like I am struggling with parts of the book, but people like give me motivation to keep reading the book by like commenting, and then they keep telling me like that I need to read the second book because they said things will improve in the second book. So like my Goodreads friends might have convinced me to read A Court of Wings and Ruin, but I don't know yet. So that was all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. All of my other social media and all of the questions for this tag will be linked down in the description below. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourself tagged. I tagged you, and I will see all of you in my next video. Goodbye!